ball in his hands. Picks the ball up, gives it to Newman. Newman out to Inga. Inga for 3. And the Storm have started off on fire from behind the 3-point line. 2 for Newman, 1 for Inga. An early sub for the Storm sees Matt Norman coming on for Jack Bernell. A nice touch from the Storm head coach, giving Jack Bernell a bit of recognition from the crowd for his last game for the club. Raja misses. Walker with the defensive rebound, kicks out to Newman. Newman pushes the ball. Scully comes into a screen. Kyle Walker for another 3. Another 3 for the Storm. 14-6. Newman picks up another assist. And the Storm go 4 of 4 from behind the 3-point line. Walker screens to Pavanaraja. Pavanaraja with the extra to Washington. Back to Pavanaraja. Pavanaraja misses. Kyle Walker smartly lets it go out of play. And another sub for the Hemel Storm. Faron Eze comes on for the big man, Mergim Sukoli. And the Spain pick and roll run by the Storm. Newman drives to the basket. Keeps it alive, kicks it out to Faron for another 3-pointer. And the Storm make it. And that is an early timeout for the Derby Trailblazers. Coach Carl Henderson is going to have to work out how he stops the outside shooting threat of the Storm as they shoot 5 or 6 to start their game. 5 minutes into the first quarter, Storm leaves 17-6. Inga with 3, Newman with 6, Walker with 3, and Eze with 3, and Jack Bernell rounds off the scoring with 2 of his own. For the Derby Trailblazers, it's an even spread. Walker with 2, May Thompson with 2, and Pavanaraja with 2 for himself as well. It was going to be interesting to see how the Storm dealt with Darian Nelson-Henry's absence this evening. Will they continue to try and look inside, or will they try and attack from the outside? You can see from early on from the 3-point shooting, they're trying to attack from the perimeter. And on the floor for the Storm is number 3, Braden Inga, 2, Matt Norman, 21, Veron Eze, 4, Sam Newman, and 11, Kai Walker. For Derby is 13, Connor Washington, 4, Charlie Brown, 22, Jay Pavanaraja, Raheem May Thompson, 7, and Mo Walker, 3. And you can see the Storm have come out in their zone. How will the Derby Trailblazers deal with that? Very easily, as Mo Walker finishes on the basket. Carl Henderson has now put the Derby Trailblazers in their 3-2 zone. Newman calls the hook play for the Storm. Henderson's timeout has worked so far. 2 baskets off the timeout. And they're back in their 3-2 zone. Norman into Raheem May Thompson. Norman pulls up for 3. Makes another one. Storm are on fire from behind the arc. Tom Baker has called them to go into their man-to-man on this occasion. Pavanaraja drops it into Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown gives it to Mo Walker. Turnover. Newman drives to the basket. And turns the ball over with Kyle Walker. 20-10 with 4.5 minutes to go. in the first quarter. Raja controlling the play for the Trailblazers. Washington looks inside for Hemel Thompson. Hemel Thompson, been in the league for a number of years. Takes his time and the veteran knocks it down. Kyle Henderson signals to 3, which means the Trailblazers will be in their 3-2 zone. Inga kicks out to Walker. Walker to Newman for another 3. And the Storm missed on this occasion. Great box out by Washington to control the play. Washington stop and pop. Inga on the ball. Walker drives to the basket. And a tough one over Mo Walker. What a start for the Hemel Storm. And some changes for both sides as Mo Walker comes off for Rob Marsden, and Jovan Rai is going to step onto the floor for Kai Walker if he makes the free throw. Kai Walker misses to keep himself in the game. He's had a really great year for the Dark. Kicks it ahead to Washington. Washington, quick 3 in transition. Newman out to Norman. Norman shoots for 3 with the offensive rebound. Walker, drive, tough finish over Rob Marsden. Pafanaraja on the ball for the Trailblazers. Are they going to look to use their size mismatch against the Storm? Washington, guarded by Inga, receives the screen from Marsden. Marsden back to the basket, double comes from Eze. Washington up and under. Another miss for the Trailblazers. Inga drives at Marsden. Tough finish over Marsden, and basket good for the Hemel Storm.
You can be aggressive, make sure you help us go on the glass, okay?
1 on 2 again. And now Jovan Rai comes to the floor, and Malcolm Smith is back on the floor for the Derby Trailblazers, coming on for Raheem May Thompson. A very high scoring start for Hemel Storm with 26 points. The Derby Trailblazers want to try and sort it out on both ends of the floor. Inga makes it, which means Sekoli steps in for Braden Inga. Rob Marsden inbounds it to Pafanaraja. Storm lead by 15 with 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Smith screens for Pafanaraja, kicks to Marsden. Washington for 3 again. He's too good of a professional to miss the next one. 3-2 zone called by Kyle Henderson. They had some success early on. Storm will want to try and look to penetrate the zone rather than pass around the outside. Just like that, and Veron Eze drives past Marsden. Smith gets out in transition, and Charlie Brown does what he does best. Facilitating for the Trailblazers. Kicking ahead to Smith, who was fouled by Eze. 2 shots for Malcolm Smith. And it's great to see Malcolm Smith back in action for the Derby Trailblazers, having recently played for the Newcastle Eagles. He's been around, formerly Division 1 and the BCB for a number of years. One of the best Americans to play in the league. And it's great to see him back in the blue for the Derby Trailblazers. Smith knocks the first down, who since his return has been averaging 16.3 points, shooting 51% from the field and 40% from 3. Smith knocks them both down. 29-17 to the Storm. Norman with the miss on the pull-up. Trailblazers taking care of the ball. Raja gives it to Smith. They look for the high low with Larson. They are really trying to get that mismatch. Raja pulls the three and makes it. Tom Baker has seen enough and timeout called. 3-2 zone seems to be working for the Derby Trailblazers. They've controlled the shooting of the Storm. Will stays it as he comes out of the timeout? Or will Tom Baker have an answer? And that concludes the timeout for both teams as they return back onto the floor. Marsden, Brown, Smith, Washington and Paparaja for the Trailblazers. And for the Storm, it's Dejani Parkinson, Matt Norman, Jovan Rai, Baron Eze and Mergim Sokoli. 1:42 left. Derby trail by 9. Right, inbounds it to Parkinson. See what the after timeout looks like for the Storm. Sokoli into the pick and roll with Jovan Rai. Rai picks the ball up, gives it to Eze. Rai attacks Bafana. Will he get the N1? No good. Right, to the line for 2 shots. Rai makes the first to get on the scoreboard tonight, personally. This is the second, but Sokoli's there. But it will be Trailblazers ball on the baseline. 30-20 to the Storm, 1 minute 27 to go. Pafanaraja guarded by Jovan Rai. Pulls the play for the Trailblazers. Their stagger for Charlie Brown. Their second stagger for Washington. Washington tries to slowly stop, turn around. Pafanaraja inside again to Marshall. Marshall out to Pafanaraja. Pulls it. Misses and Sokoli's there on the glass. 1 minute left in quarter 1. Storm lead by 10. Right, kicks it ahead for Eze. Sokoli into 1-on-1 with Parkinson. Fakes the handoff. Right, drives at Pafanaraja. Charlie Brown with the rebound. Pafanaraja. Tightly by Parkinson. Larson looking for the high low with Matt Smith. Matt Norman in the help side defense. Will the Storm get a 2 for 1? 30 seconds left. Sokoli on the glass. Misses. 2 second difference between game shot and shot clock. Smith doesn't mind and takes his 2 points. 16 seconds left for the Storm. Oh, they're going to take the last shot. Parkinson dribbles at Jovan Rai. Parkinson stops behind the 3-point line, pulls it, knocks it down. 33-22 to the Hemel Storm as the quarter 1 comes to an end. What a 3-point shooting masterclass from the Storm as Parkinson takes the lead up to 11, 33-22. And some early stats so far as the quarter comes to an end. Kai Walker leads Hemel with 7 points, closely followed by Braden Inga and Sam Newman on 6, and then it's Veron Eze on 5. A nice spread for the Hemel Storm. For the Derby Trailblazers, it's Pafanaraja with 7 points, Walker, May Thompson and Smith on 4 each, and Washington finished off the scoring with them 3 points. How will the Derby Trailblazers deal with the outside shooting of the Storm? They're currently shooting 7 of 10, 70% from behind the 3-point line. For the Trailblazers, they're 2 of 8, 25%. And opening the second quarter, the Trailblazers gone with Pafanaraja, Washington, Brown, Marston, and Malcolm Smith. For the Storm, it's Parkinson, Sam Newman, Matt Norman, Veron Eze, and Braden Inga, who's filling in for the big man, Darian Nelson Henry, this evening. Parkinson, guarded tightly by Pafanaraja. Brown comes off the stagger of Smith and Marsden. Washington comes off the second stagger. Doesn't shoot on this occasion, but is able to get to the basket. To move on to 5 points personally. Parkinson kicks it to Newman. Inga fakes the screen. Inga back to the basket, kicks it out to Parkinson for another 3 and gets the friendly roll. Storm continue the fine 3-point shooting from behind the arc. Brown. Pafanaraja. Washington comes off the stagger of Marsden and Smith. Pafanaraja. Guarded tightly by Parks. Brown guides the basket. Kicks out to Washington. Short on this crazy. Great box out by Matt Norman. Newman. Nice bounce pass into Norman. And offensive masterclass from the Hemel Storm so far tonight. Smith, one of the best back to the basket players this league has seen, just takes his time. A pro move to go to 2 points. To go to 6 points personal, sorry. Newman, got him. Marston. Norman steps back and knocks down another 3-pointer. Storm are on fire from behind the 3-point arc. Marston sets the screen for Pafanaraja. Derby doubled by the Storm. Washington drives to the basket. Tough make over Sam Newman. The Storm are dealing with a mismatch by doubling the bigs. Binga stops, pops, and another 3-pointer for Hemel Storm. Brown passes it to Pafanaraja. Pafanaraja into Marsden. Marsden one-on-one with Inga. Pafanaraja shortcut to the basket. Gets the friendly roll. 2 moves to 9 points personal. Parkinson guarded by Pafanaraja. Parkinson comes off the stagger of Inga and Eze looking for Sam Newman. A great slip by Eze. Kicks out Norman, who's on fire at the moment. 5 seconds left on the shot clock for the Storm. Newman drives to the basket. Norman on the offensive glass. Foul by Marsden. 2 shots. And Storm have the ball on the baseline. Turnover. That'll be Derby's ball. And on comes Jack Bernell, who receives a lovely reception from the Storm crowd as in his last game for the club. Smith guarded tightly by Walker, going to his famous square up and pull up. Misses on this occasion. Norman with the ball in transition. Gets to Walker. Walker drives off the stampede catch. Stopped by Smith on this occasion. Newman trying to get Mo Walker in the pick and roll. Drives on Walker. Able to kick it out to Inga. Inga for three once again. And another three for the Hemel Storm. And that gets Inga out to 12 points personal. Smith passes it to Hemel. Goes to a corner pick and roll with the big man. Smith fouls by Jack Bernell. Jack Bernell picks up his first foul of this evening. 6 minutes left to go in quarter two. Storm lead 47-30.
Hey, let's go.
Smith has the ball on the sideline for the Trailblazers. Passes it to Thompson. Thompson to Charlie Brown. And Derby go to that high-low action they love. Dropping it into Reed. Thompson passes into Smith, who is fouled by Braden Inga. Trailblazers with the ball on the baseline. 6 minutes left in quarter two.
Sam!
Brown into Smith, and Smith doing what he does best, knocking down their mid-range jumper as the veteran of this league moves to 8 points personal. Storm go into their Spain pick and roll. Norman drives up Pavanaraja. Great cut by Kai Walker. And Kai Walker moves to 9. Pavanaraja with the ball on the wing, looking for Malcolm Smith. Malcolm Smith goes at Walker, but misses on this occasion. Newman, great hustle play. Shot clock reset for the Trailblazers. Thompson for three, misses. Norman with the rebound. Norman out to Walker. Walker travels on the way to the basket. Sub for the Trailblazers as Connor Washington comes on to the floor for Jay Pavanaraja. As the Hemel Storm crowd call for the defense on their side. Walker on a high low. Great pass to Thompson. And a foul by Sam Newman on the head of Raheem Thompson as he tried to throw it down. 2 shots for Raheem Thompson. And on the floor is Jarvis Chater for Matt Norman, a product of the University of Hertfordshire program. Thompson misses the first to the delight of the Hemel Storm faithful. And makes the second. Can the Trailblazers get it under 10 going into the second half? Inga guarded by Mo Walker, and Storm going to the Spain pick and roll. Inga drives it, he made Mo Walker, and is fouled by Mo Walker. And Inga knocks down the second to go to 14 points personal. Bernell guarding Charlie Brown. Washington fakes the screen. Inside to Mo Walker. Storm double. Brown has to shoot the 3-point shot. One of the best makers in this league. Washington and Charlie Brown does not take to shoot on this occasion. As Mo Walker on the offensive glass. Inga brings the ball up. Sam Newman in a two-man game with Braden Inga. Newman picks the ball up, gives it off to Jarvis Chater. Chater inside to Inga. Inga one-on-one with Mo Walker. 1 foot step back. Hemel Thompson with the rebound. And he stopped. Fouled hard by Kai Ball on the baseline for the Derby Trailblazers. 4 minutes to go. They trail by 16 points. No pun intended. Brown into Walker, doubled by Bernell. Walker drops off to Washington. Washington falls short. Walker dives on it. Great hustle by Storm, number 11. Comes out to Smith. Smith tries to drop it off to Mo Walker. Hemel Thompson drives to the basket and tough foul by Jarvis Chater. Chater picks up his first foul on this evening as Hemel Thompson goes to the free throw line again. Hemel Thompson makes the first, moving to 6 points personal. Two for two for the big man. Walker takes it out of bounds for the Storm. Walker brings the ball up. Newman signaling the two play. Walker fake coming off the screen. Hard foul. Hard foul called on Hemel Thompson, which will send Kai Walker to the line. And some subs for the Derby Trailblazers as Hemel Thompson comes off the floor as he picks up his second foul. And so does Charlie Brown. Jay Pafanaraja returns, as does Casey Burr for his first appearance of the night. Walker heads to double digits. Kai Walker misses second. Mo Walker on the glass. Three by inside for Mo Walker, and the double is working well for the Storm. Walker. Great hustle by Chater, who unfortunately can't keep it in play. Casey Burr picks up the steal. Washington in transition. Mo Walker inside, got entitled by Sam Newman, and the foul. Foul on number 8, Jarvis Chater. Storm horns occasion as Mo Walker misses the first free throw. And of his experience, unlikely to miss the second. And no surprise, the big man makes the second. Walker with the ball in his hands, bringing the ball up for the Storm. Walker gives it to Newman. Newman calls for the screen from Inga. Inga fakes the screen. Now space for Newman to drive. Walker shot fake out to Bernell. Bernell shot fake. Pulls up. Just short on this occasion for Storm. Number 7, Jack Bernell. Raj out to Casey Burr. The extra to Connor Washington. Unfortunately, is not shooting well tonight. Walker pushes hard as always. Tough finish round Casey Burr. Storm push the lead out to 16. Walker with a tough step through around Sam Newman to keep their deficit to 14 points. Newman loving that pick and roll with Inga. Inga stop and pop. Makes another 3. That pick and roll action with Inga and Newman proving to be really difficult for the Trailblazers. Pafanaraja drives himself and makes it an issue that the Storm have had all season. They will score, but then they get scored on in transition. Newman stops behind the 3-point line and makes another 3 for the Hemel Storm. An unbelievable shooting display from everyone involved in the side as they move to 60 points with still 1:40 left in quarter 2. That Newman triple takes him to 9 points personal, with Inga leading the side with 17 points of his own, and Walker second in scoring with 12. For the Trailblazers is Pafanaraja, the only player in double digits at the moment with 11, but Walker is on 9. Smith on 8, supported by Raheem Thompson and Watson each. That timeout provided an opportunity for the Storm to make some subs, which means Newman, Inga, Rai, Veron, Eze and Kai Walker will be on the floor to finish off the second quarter. For the Trailblazers, they've gone with Mo Walker, Malcolm Smith, Casey Burr, Jay Pafanaraja and Connor Washington. Connor Washington inbounds the ball to Jay Pafanaraja. Doing what he's done all year, leading the side with 17 points, driving hard to the basket, misses on this occasion. Newman going to that pick and roll action with Inga again. Newman comes off the action. Inga fouled by Mo Walker to head to the free throw line as Mo Walker picks up his second. Kyle Henderson. Will he make a sub? And Joe Mariah with the ball on the sideline for the Storm. Let's see what Tom Baker drew up for his timeout. Newman looks inside to Inga. Walk on the offensive glass. Casey Bird takes control of possession for the Trailblazers. Smith, stopped by Eze. Raja, two-man game with Malcolm Smith. Raja looking inside for Marston. Inga picks up the steal. Inga for three, for another three. Inga's on fire tonight, moving to 20 points personal as the Storm crowd chant the New Zealand international's name. Washington looking inside for Marston. Marston one-on-one with Inga. Marston drives that. Inga kicks out to Casey Bird. Casey Bird to Washington. And shot clock for the Derby Trailblazers. Shot clock violation. 20 seconds left for the ball game. Storm lead by 21 points. Walker brings the ball up, kicks it out to Newman. Calls for the pick and roll coverage with Inga. Pick and roll action, I do apologise. Nice little push shot by Inga. Smith with 2 seconds left. Newman, does he know there's time to go? And that is the half. And Hemel Storm and Tom Baker will be delighted with that first half performance. The 63-42 lead with 15 minutes left. And some stats heading into the first half. The Storm shooting an incredible 77.8% from the three-point line. 14 of 18. Norman with 2 of his own. Braden perfect 5 of 5. Newman 3 of 4. Guy Walker 1 of 1. Eze 1 of 1. And Parkson 2 of 2. An incredible shooting night for the Hemel Storm. Maybe in honour of the sniper himself, Jack Bernell, who's playing his last game for the club this evening. For the Trailblazers, it's Pathanaja with leading the side with 11, supported by Mo Walker 9 and Smith 8. It'll be interesting to see how the Derby Trailblazers will react to that first half Storm performance. Their traditional high-low action is not working as well as they may have originally thought. So a change on the offensive end might be needed. See you in 30 minutes for second half action. live at the Everyone Active Leisure Centre for Hemel Storm's last game of the 2025-2026 season. As mentioned earlier, the Derby Trailblazers still have playoff positions to fight for with their first game tonight against the Hemel Storm and the London Cavaliers tomorrow. They will want to turn this 21-point deficit around to pick up the win this evening and climb up the seedings. For the Storm, it's Jack Bernell, Sam Newman, Mergen Scully, Braden Inga and Kai Walker to start, with Charlie Brown, Jay Paffenraja, Mo Walker, Raheem May Thompson and Connor Washington for the Derby Trailblazers. And in typical Storm fashion, Newman has the ball in his hands. Inga flares for Bernell. Bernell gives it back to Newman. Scully sets the screen for Newman. Tough coverage by Paffenraja. Great defense from Derby's number 22. Are we going to see a different Derby coming out in the second half? Certainly started off well. Paffenraja with the great defense pushes it out to Washington, who knocks down the three. And player of this caliber will eventually get going, and it started already. Paffenraja picks up his second foul of this evening as Washington, with that three, moved to double digits himself. Walker hands it off to Newman. Drives that Bernell. Inga, who's 5 of 5 from the three-point line, will want to protect that 100% record. Storm with 2 seconds left. Great dump off to Scully, who misses at the rim as the shot clock expires. Charlie Brown with the great bounce pass. Turnover. Storm. Inga, can he go 6 of 6? He can go 6 of 6. Storm move back to 21 points ahead, and Braden Inga moves to 23 points, 6 of 6 from behind the three-point line. Raheem Thompson doing what he does best, flashing into that high post. Inga, 7 of 7, surely not. His first miss of this evening. Washington, another elite three-point shooter. I said it earlier, Washington will get going. The last time these two came to play, Washington killed the Storm from behind the three-point line, and he's starting the second half on fire. Scully gives it off to Newman. Newman guarded tightly by Paffenraja. Falling over from the Storm. 8 minutes left in quarter three. The Derby Trailblazers have cut the lead down to 18 points. Can they get it below 10 going into the fourth and make it a ball game? Paffenraja, ball in his hands. Gives it off to Brown as Washington comes off that stagger action. Derby ran a lot in the first half. 11 seconds left for the Trailblazers. Paffenraja, one-on-one with Walker. Foul by Scully under the basket. Shot clock reset for the Trailblazers as the ball goes baseline. Second foul for Mergen Scully, who has made an excellent effort coming in for the big man, Darian Nelson-Henry. Lovely pass, and Raheem May Thompson throws it down for the Derby Trailblazers. Tom Baker's seen enough of this quarter so far, making an early sub as Veron Eze heads to the subs table. Newman, once again being guarded tightly by Paffenraja. Inga now backing down Raheem May Thompson. Inga, tough finish from Raheem May Thompson to move to 25 personal for the big man. It's interesting to see the Derby change on the defensive end. In the first half, he was being guarded, Inga, by Mo Walker, which was really hurt the side. Henderson has made the decision to put Raheem May Thompson on Inga. Will that decision pay off? Eze now on the floor for Mergen Scully. Let's see how the Trailblazers will attack the mismatches. Pafanaracha, guarded by Walker. Brown comes off the stagger from the bigs. Washington into a Spain pick and roll with Walker. And that one for Pafanaracha, who has been a standout player for the Derby Trailblazers this year, leading the side points per game with 17, shooting 46 from the field and 39 behind the arc. Really has been impressive for the side this year. And once again is leading his side in scoring tonight. Pafanaracha heads to the free throw line. Can he make it a 3-point possession? He can't. Inga with the board. Eze, guarded by Walker. There's that change I was talking about earlier. Mo Walker's now guarding Eze instead. Slight change of defensive coverage. Can it change the effectiveness of that Newman and Inga pick and roll? Newman with the ball on the baseline. Into Walker. Walker drives at Charlie Brown. Tough. He misses on this occasion. Great rebound from Charlie Brown. Push it out to teammate Thompson behind the back to Washington. Washington controlled by Eze. Walker. 7 seconds left for the Trailblazers. Turnover, Charlie Brown. As he picks the ball up, pushes in transition. Another assist for Sam Newman as Eze makes the finish over Hemel Thompson under the basket as Storm's lead is back up to 18. Pafanaracha and Hemel Thompson in the pick and roll. Reverse the ball to Mo Walker and foul called on Matt Norman. Subs for the Storm as Skywalker comes off for Joe Memrai. Right, tries to nick the ball off Pafanaracha. Tough in and out move, tough finish, but he is fouled by Veron Eze as he heads to the line to take 2 shots. Makes the first 2 move to 14 points personal. And the leading scorer for the Trailblazers this evening. And he makes the second. Right with the ball in his hands. Calls the play for the Storm. Reverse it to Inga. Inga, hand off to Norman. 2-man game with Inga. Tough finish at the basket. And that takes Norman to 10 points personal. 72-54 to the Storm. 5 minutes left in quarter 3. Brown looks inside for Walker. Can he exploit that mismatch? Inga, great defense. There's Charlie Brown on the offensive glass. Charlie Brown registers his first points this evening. Norman. Hemel Thompson, defensive rebound, gets it out to Pafanaracha, who pushes hard. Lovely pass to Mo Walker, who misses. Another 3-pointer, he doesn't hesitate. Deja vu, Hemel Thompson on the defensive rebound. Tom Baker's seen enough and he has called a timeout, only to go ahead if the Trailblazers score. Hemel Thompson, shot fake, drives the basket aggressively, and he is fouled. He is fouled by Joe Van Rijn in the act of shooting. 2 shots for Hemel Thompson as Tom Baker calls his timeout. referees have called both sides back in as we head to the last 4 minutes of quarter 3 with the Storm leading the Trailblazers 72-56 for the Storm. The side returning to the floor is Braden Inga, Ron Eze, Sam Newman, Matt Norman, and Joe Van Rye. For the Trailblazers, it's Raheem May Thompson, who is heading to the free throw line for 2 shots, and he is supported by Charlie Brown, Mo Walker, Connor Washington, and Jay Papanaraja. That was Tom Baker's first time out of the second half. He has 2 left, whereas Carl Hansen still has all 3. Raheem May Thompson, despite the distractions from the Hemel home crowd, makes the first and moves to double digits personally. 1 of 2 for Raheem May Thompson as Inga gets another rebound. As discussed earlier, can the Trailblazers get it to under 10 heading it into 4th to make it a ball game? Okay, Mo Walker's back on Inga. Inga and Newman trying to get into their ball screen action. On this occasion, Walker's jamming Inga so he can't get that 3-point shot. Kicks out to Rye, but Rye makes the 3 on this occasion, and another 3-point shot made by the Hemel Storm. Papanaraja pushes hard off the miss, gets the switch, looks for Walker inside. Great flash by Charlie Brown, trying to get a high-low. Tough save by Raheem May Thompson. Papanaraja drives at Newman, but he's stopped. Great defense from Samuel Newman. And shot clock reset for the Derby Trailblazers with the ball on the baseline. Malcolm Smith returns to play, replacing the big man, Mo Walker. It's great to see the chess match going on between the 2 coaches. Tom Baker still trying to put Inga and Newman into that pick and roll. They've had success, but Henderson changed up the coverage. So Walker was sticking tight to Braden Inga. 2 play called by Samuel Newman, who has the ball in his hands, once again representing Hemel Storm. Stagger by the Storm. Inga, guys, right hand, tough block by Raheem May Thompson. What a block from Derby Trailblazers number 7. Newman into Inga. Norman drives at the basket. Tough finish over Papanaraja as the lead for Storm goes back out to 20 points. And Norman moves to 12 points personal. Right, guarding Papanaraja. Inga switches on to Papanaraja. Tough lefty shot. Inga with another defensive rebound. Newman pushes hard. Drives, kicks out to the 3-point shooting. Norman, who makes another 3-pointer. And the Derby Trailblazers call their first timeout of the second half as the lead goes back out to 23. The Storm have well and truly been on fire from behind the 3-point line this evening. Quite an incredible 3-point shooting display from the Hemel Storm tonight. Inga 6 of 6 from behind the 3-point line. Sam Newman 3 of 4 with his, as always, 13 assists. Kyle Walker 1 of 1. Matt Norman 3 of 6. Joe Van Rye 1 of 1. Veronese 1 of 1. And Tashani Parkinson 2 of 2. 16 of 23 as a team, shooting 69% from behind the line. An incredible 3-point shooting display. Henderson has used his first timeout of the second half. Let's see what changes are made to try and stop this Hemel 3-point onslaught. And the Storm come out in a, looks like a 3-2 zone on this occasion. Let's try and throw off that Derby timeout. Thompson looking for the high-low with Smith. And a foul called by referee on Braden Inga, which puts Malcolm Smith on the free throw line. Malcolm Smith knocks down his first free throw. Can he knock down his second to go to 10 points personal? Inga with another defensive rebound. 2 minutes left in quarter 3. Hemel lead by 22 points. Inga one-on-one with Charlie Brown. Tough move by Braden Inga. 27 points for the New Zealand international. Another rebound from Inga. He's doing it all tonight. Inga takes a 29. Inga moves to 29 points personal. Newman pushing hard in transition. Oh, lovely behind the back to Kai Walker. What a pass from Samuel Newman. That is one of the passes of the season from Storm's number 4. An incredible pass. Great finish by Kai Walker. And Carl Henson is trying to slow this down for the Trailblazers as Rob Marston turns to the floor, as well as Casey Burr with him and Jay Patharacha. The bench can Storm push the lead out to 30 points. Charlie Brown controls the tempo for the Trailblazers. Looks for Smith. Smith with the usual high-low for the Trailblazers. Marston can't finish under the basket. Marston, nice pass into Smith and the big man. Marston on the offensive glass. Great hustle from the 2 Derby Trailblazers big men. "12 seconds left for the Storm. Norman for 3 on the buzzer. This is on this occasion. What an incredible third quarter for the Storm as they push the lead out 86-60. A truly incredible shooting display from the side, with Inga leading the team with 29 points. And we head into the final quarter of the 2025-2026 season for the Hemel Storm. Great block from Sakoli. Walker brings the ball up into Newman. Newman kicks it to Norman. Step back three from Norman. Marsden, as always, on the defensive glass. Malcolm Smith back to the basket. Tough move as always from the big man. Draws the foul. Goes to line for 2 shots. And on comes Jack Bernell for the Hemel Storm, replacing number 3, Norman. Smith makes the first to move to 10 points personal. Two for 2 for Malcolm Smith. Newman receives the screen from Coley, drives down the middle, kicks it out to Inga. Inga, 1-on-1 with Smith. Tough coverage from Malcolm Smith. Newman out to Sakoli. Sakoli for 3. And Sakoli joins the 3-point party. And another assist for Samuel Newman. Smith, 2-man game with Pafanaraja. Pafanaraja pulls it back. Marsden looks for the high-low with Smith. Drive, step back. Inga with another rebound. Inga brings the ball up. Doubled by the Trailblazers. Bernell for 3. Bernell knocks down a 3 to push the lead out to 30. Another 3 for the Hemel Storm. As Kyle Henderson calls a timeout, his second timeout for the Derby Trailblazers. Quite an incredible 3-point shooting display from the Hemel Storm. You thought they might have gone quiet in the first half, but they've continued. And the Trailblazers start the action, restart the action as we head into the final 8 minutes of quarter 4. Brown looking inside for Smith. Marsden flashes, dumps off to Burr. Burr drives and it's cool. And sub for the Derby Trailblazers, Connor Washington returns to the floor for number 0, Casey Burr. And the Trailblazers are in their 3-2 zone, and Sam Newman recognises the ball. Corresponding play. Newman, Inga back out to Newman. Newman pulls the 3. Storm miss on this occasion. Naraja. Great hands for Bernell. Smith with the ball on the sideline for the Derby Trailblazers. Gets it to Marsden. Back screen. Washington. Brown looking inside for Smith. Tough block from Sokoli for the foul. Smith on the line for 1 of 2. Makes the first with the friendly roll. Can he go 2 from 2? Makes the second as the lead goes down to 28. Walker now running the point for Storm. Back 3. Doubled by Walker and Newman. Washington to Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown comes off the Marsden screen. Smith flashes high. Marsden kicks out Pafanara. Shot fake drive out to Washington. And a shot clock violation for the and the Storm fans being loud and clear. Yeah, they're excited. Their last game of the 2025. Slows it down. To push the lead back out to 30 for the Hemel Storm. Great defense lead the offense. Washington 1-on-1 with Sokoli. Nice little pass to Marsden. Marsden with the veteran move to just finish at the ring. Newman pulls the clean play for the Storm. Sokoli. And there's a second screen for the Storm guard. Newman drives the basket. Fouled by Rob Marsden for 2 shots. Newman at the line for 1 of 2. This is the first. And Newman knocks down the second to go to 12 points personal. A double-double for another Hemel Storm legend. Washington, mid-range, pull up, gets his own rebound, slows it down, pulls out the play, goes 1-on-1 with Bernell. Washington, between the legs, step back 3, short. And he picks up another offensive rebound. Mo Walker with the extra to Pafanaraja. Pafanaraja drives, and Bernell picks up the defensive rebound. Sam Newman with the ball in his hands. 5 minutes left. Newman receives the the screen from Sakoli. Drives hard at Thompson. Kicks it out to Walker. Walker one-on-one with Pafanaraja. And Pafanaraja with a great defense. Sakoli, can he go for another three tonight? The big man adds another three to his collection. Quite an incredible three-point shooting display from the Hemel Storm. Washington comes off the double from Marston and Walker. Lovely little high-low action from the Derby Trailblazers. Newman slows it down. Walker, backdoor cut. Kicks out to Eze. Eze, high. Bravo. I was going to say something. Pafanaraja with the ball. Receives the screen for Walker. Walker into Marsden. Marsden. Rehane Thompson. High-low look at Mo Walker. Pass fake for three. Sakoli, monster defensive rebound. Sakoli spin. Tough defense from Walker. Great effort on the glass. Newman to Sakoli. That will be Hemel's ball. Baseline. As Tajani Parkinson comes on the floor for Samuel Newman. And Casey Burr and Will Talon come on the floor for the Derby Trailblazers. Sakoli throws it down. That is the 100 points up for the Hemel Storm. Burr looks for Marsden. Walker into Talon. Burr looking inside for Marsden. Veteran move from the big man. Enough move. And the lefty finish. Parkinson brings the ball up for the Hemel Storm. Three minutes left for the ball game. Sakoli, can he make another three? Soronese with a huge offensive rebound. Norman pulls up. Misses. Walker takes control of the glass. Burr to Pafanaraja. Pafanaraja drives at the Storm defense and with a tough finish. Norman to Parkinson. Back to Norman. Tajani's feeling it tonight, and he makes another three. 103 points for the Hemel Storm as they push the lead out to 31. Burr brings the ball up, looks inside for Sakoli. Norman pushes ahead to Sakoli, the big man moves to 10 points personal. Allen brings the ball up. Marsden, little mid-range pull up. Makes it. And subs for the Hemel Storm. As Jack Bernell returns to the floor. And Sam Newman. Minute 55 left. Storm lead by 31. Quite an incredible three-point shooting display from the Storm. Norman with a huge offensive rebound. Can't finish round Marsden. Talon kicks it to Pafanaraja. Pafanaraja drives at Newman and one. No.
moves Pafanaraja out to 19 points personal. Another great offensive night for Derby's number 22. Can he move to 20 of his own? Points personal for Jay Pafanaraja. Newman brings the ball up to Bernell. Bernell back to Newman. Bernell, can he finish off in style? Unfortunately not. And now, as he steps off the court for the final time, what a moment this is for Jack Bernell. 15 years with Hemel Storm, from a young prospect to a captain, a leader and the heartbeat of this club. 7 trophies, an unforgettable unbeaten season, and memories that will live on far beyond the scoreboard. But it's more than that. It's the impact in the community, the next generation he's inspired, the respect of teammates, coaches and fans alike. You can see it in this standing ovation. This isn't just for the player, it's for the person. A hometown hero who gave everything, every single time he stepped on the court. This isn't goodbye, just the end of an incredible chapter. Jack Bernell leaves as a true legend of Hemel Storm. And so Coley steps onto the floor for Samuel Newman. And that is Sam Newman done for the game this evening as he finished us with 12 points and an incredible 17 assists. Pafanaraja moves to 21 points personal. Parkinson brings the ball up. Sokoli hands off to Chater. Chater drives. The one-legged pull-up from Chater. Couldn't get the roll on this occasion. Pafanaraja drives to the basket. Tough finish from Pafanaraja. Parkinson with the ball. Reverses it to Eze. Eze back to Parkinson. Parkinson to Eze. Eze drives. Is he going to throw it down? Tough finish from Varon Eze. Pafanaraja looking to finish strong. Right. Talon with a rebound. Looks ahead for Walker. Walker. Burr into Pafanaraja. Pafanaraja fouled by Joe Van Rye. And we have 18 seconds left of quite an incredible night for the Hemel Storm, shooting 21 of 37 from behind the three-point line. 56%. An incredible way to finish off their 2025-2026 season. We wish all the best for the Derby Trailblazers as they face the London Cavaliers tomorrow. Will the Storm dribble the ball out, or will they try and finish on a high? Pafanaraja knocks it down to move to 24 personal. Parkinson brings the ball up. Looks to get the ball into Chater's hand. Chater drives. Looks to finish over Martin. Can't finish on this occasion. Pafanaraja. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. And that is the ball game. And that is it for Hemel Storm's 2025-2026 season as they beat one of their long-term rivals, the Derby Trailblazers, 107-83. Thank you for an incredible night to celebrate a true Storm legend, Jack Bernell.
See you all next season.